Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for June 8th, 2012. It's Friday. It's also the start of the Mets and Yankees series, and I believe the Phillies face the Orioles this weekend. As we start off with interleague play with baseball, if you're a baseball fan, and obviously if you're a New York baseball fan, it is a big weekend. So let's take a look to see what type of weather we'll be dealing with as the Mets and Yankees face off. Well, for this morning, we have temperatures basically in the lower to mid 50s over most of the region, upper 50s to lower 60s over the Philadelphia metropolitan area. Of course, we do have some fog over portions of Connecticut and the Hudson River Valley. That fog will lift by 10 a.m., and visibility is already improving over 2 miles in many of these locations. The rest of the northern Mid-Atlantic is experiencing tranquil weather conditions with excellent driving conditions. So if you are late in the rush hour, well, it's not because of the weather, it's likely because of an accident somewhere, unfortunately. Otherwise, pleasant weather conditions are in place. So let's take a look at the latest infrared satellite picture and see what we're dealing with for today. And keep an eye on this. This is a strong disturbance that is diving through the St. Lawrence River Valley and will be moving through northern New York and New England. Now, the brunt of the lifting and dynamics with this system will be located well to the north of the northern Mid-Atlantic. However, a few of these thunderstorms are going to be able to dive south and east and approach the northern Mid-Atlantic later on this afternoon and into the early evening hours. And they may produce some strong to severe thunderstorms over portions of northeastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, the Hudson River Valley, and Connecticut, especially away from the coast. I think this threat is isolated, but considering the northwesterly flow we have in place, the threat is clearly present. Otherwise, high pressure that is currently over Ohio is going to continue to build into the northern Mid-Atlantic for this afternoon. So I think if you're in the Philadelphia metropolitan area, the threat for a thunderstorm is extremely isolated. And for the New York City metropolitan area, the threat will be isolated, but you have a little bit better shot because of those thunderstorms diving south and east from the Mohawk River Valley. Otherwise, expect temperatures to rebound nicely into the upper 70s to lower 80s along the coast and lower to mid 80s away from the coast. There could even be a few locations that push into the 87 and 88 range. You will notice an increase in the humidity as dew points push into the 60s, so it's certainly going to be a little bit more humid than what we've been experiencing the past few days. Now, also, I just want to point out we have a pretty impressive subtropical jet stream that is firing off, and if you're worried about tropical development, this feature right here prevents any type of tropical development because of strong shear. So that's certainly good news if you're concerned about any tropical weather developing and impacting the northern Mid-Atlantic. So let's take a look at the radar. I just want to point this out real fast that when thunderstorms do develop, they're going to develop from around here in northern New York. And the idea here is that as this disturbance dives south, thunderstorms that develop in this area will be able to dive south and east towards the Hudson River Valley, northeastern Pennsylvania and Connecticut, possibly pushing into northern New Jersey. But by the time this development gets going and dives south and east, the sun will start to set, our instability will decline, and thus any showers and thunderstorms that do dive to the south and east will weaken before they reach the New York City metropolitan area. Still, it's going to be something you're going to have to keep an eye on. With these disturbances moving through, an isolated shower or thunderstorm will be possible throughout the entire region. But again, I want to stress the word isolated. Let's take a look at the latest mild guidance from the European mild guidance here from the Penn State EWOL website, an excellent website for mild guidance. You can see for this evening, our disturbance is diving south. This disturbance is going to support our backdoor cold front for this weekend, which really is not looking all that impressive based on the latest mild guidance. Now we have a better handle on this disturbance and exactly where it's tracking. So again, we're going to see a threat for an isolated shower or thunderstorm. The disturbance will focus itself over the Canadian Maritimes just to the north and east of Maine. And notice we have a northwesterly flow for this weekend. Now, for the most part, what I'm expecting is that if you are in the Philadelphia metropolitan area or just to the west of New York City, look for temperatures in the mid to upper 80s for this weekend. Could possibly push into the lower 90s in a few isolated locations. Look for an increase in humidity, certainly. humidity levels will definitely be felt with dew points in the mid to upper 60s, and now be reflected in the lows, which will also be in the mid to upper 60s. Now, if you are in the New York City metropolitan area and Connecticut, look for temperatures generally in the lower to mid 80s. Still an increase in humidity, but I think the warmest conditions are going to be to your south and west. Still a pleasant weekend for the northern Mid-Atlantic. Watch out for an isolated shower or thunderstorm late Saturday night, but for the most part, dry conditions can be expected. For Sunday, again, similar situation, except the northwesterly flow is going to be shifted a little bit further to the north and east. I think most locations remain dry on Sunday with temperatures very warm in the mid to upper 80s away from the coast and lower to mid 80s along the coast. So if you want to go to the beach, I think your best day is going to be on Sunday. Watch out for a little bit of a sea breeze as well right along the immediate coast. That could keep temperatures a little bit closer to 80 degrees than currently forecasted. But you can see the mid-level winds here are from the south and southwest, which will lead to rather warm and humid weather conditions for Sunday. Heading into next week, again, a nice ridge is going to be right over the northern Mid-Atlantic, ensuring dry conditions for the most part. Watch out for that backdoor cold front. Could produce an isolated shower here or there, but for the most part, I expect tranquil weather conditions with temperatures remaining in the 80s throughout the entire northern Mid-Atlantic for highs. Humidity will remain high as well. Now, for Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to be dealing with a series of cold fronts that will attempt to move through. These cold fronts will produce scattered showers and thunderstorms. Your best potential for thunderstorms will be on Wednesday and Thursday in this weather pattern. Temperatures will remain warm, though, in the lower to mid 80s along the coast and mid to upper 80s over the interior, with humidity remaining high because the cold fronts never really make it through. They just produce scattered showers and thunderstorms before they weaken and collapse. Heading in towards the extended forecast for next weekend, if you're looking forward to hot and humid conditions, well, you might have to move a little bit more to the south and west towards, let's say, southeastern Pennsylvania. Because for the most part, what we're going to be dealing with is a continuation of the northern Mid-Atlantic on the northeastern side of this ridge is dominating much of the plains, the Mississippi River Valley, and the southeast. Because we're going to continue to see a trough over the northern Atlantic, we'll be under this northwesterly flow. So what we'll experience is that temperatures will be in the mid to upper 80s, above normal, humidity will increase, and continued threat for isolated showers and thunderstorms. But the warmest conditions will remain over the Ohio River Valley and Tennessee River Valley rather than over the northern Mid-Atlantic. So if you're looking for lower to mid 90s, for example, travel to the south and east towards the Mississippi and, should I say, the Ohio and Tennessee River Valley, and possibly the southern Mid-Atlantic. Well, that is your forecast for today. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter and Facebook. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there.